Hello, folks. This is Siddharth. Welcome to our YouTube channel, Automate with Siddharth. That's me. In this channel, we usually discuss about automation testing, Maven, Git, Jenkins, DevOps, right? SDET. Mostly, most of the sessions are on SDET. I do share a lot of interview questions along with answers or how to deal with product companies' interview sessions. So, stay tuned and let's start with today's session.
Going to learn about Java strings. Okay, when we talk about Java, there are four important aspects where people used to get a lot of interview questions. Those who target QA or automation or SDET profile. Along with it, these four things are also being used in our day-to-day task more frequently. All those four things are strings, array, list, map. So today we will start with the strings. So what basically strings are? Strings in Java are basically objects, right, that represent a sequence of characters. Now, when I say sequence of characters, that means, for example, test. This is a sequence of character, right? So this is basically nothing but a string. And string in Java, we basically define it using double quotes. For example, if I want to create, I will show you quickly over here. I will create a new class, okay, and I will name it as string practice. String practice, okay, add, and here let assume I want to create a string, right? Then how I can do it? For example, string str is equal to this one. I will define inside the testing. So this testing is nothing but a string. So sequence of characters inside double quote, right? And basically where is the main package which control the string is java.lang.string class. Okay, so whenever I use string, for example, I write or create or declare or initialize a string, basically it comes from java.lang.string. Okay, usually they don't ask it, but knowing about it is better. So two important points to remember about string is those are objects that represent sequence of characters. Characters can be anything. It can be, means it is not mandatory like it should be testing. You can write test 45. You can write any special character. Anything you want, you can write, right? But it should be inside your double quote and it's always a sequence of characters, right? And it is part of java.lang.string class. This is the initial knowledge to know. The next important things to aware of is how we can declare and initialize, right, strings. So basically there are two major ways you can declare or initialize string. One is using string literals and one is using string new keyword, right? Basically we also call it as using string object, right, by creating string object of its constructor, right? If I take it over here, two ways of define string. One is using string literals, right, and one is using string class constructor. All the new keyword, they may call it different ways. They may call it string class constructor, they may call it using string object, they may call it using new keyword. Everything represents the same, right? So now we will see how exactly we can do it, right? So to show it in a proper way, what we will do, we will definitely use public static void main string, correct? Public static, why we need that? Because this is the point where Java starts executing, right? String args close quote start. So when we say string define using literals, that means string str is equal to the string name. Directly you can put, for example, string str is equal to testing. This is nothing but using string literals complete with a colon. Then we will definitely try to print it string dot out dot println, right? And you can just print the string str, right? And what we will do, we will try to run it. So now we will see what's the value. What's the value we are getting? Testing. So this is one of the way to create string and we call it as literals. String using literals. What is the another way? Another way is using new keyword or constructor or object. Anything they say, it's the same thing, right? So string str obj, right, is equal to new string, right? So that's the difference between creating literal and class constructor. Here we need to write new string. Then only we can enter value to it. Okay. So for example, the same value we will do testing with obj. And here I'm going to use semicolon. I need to use capital string. Okay. Yeah. So now we will again try to print this string also. Okay. What we will do, we will put it over here, string object. Those string object str, those are nothing but name that we provide, right? The name of the string variable, right, that we are creating over here. So now what we will do, we will try to run it again, and we should be able to see testing with obj. So two ways we have defined and initialize value for string. One way is like literals, another way is like using new keyword, using object, using string constructor, everything points to same. Okay, so those are the two prominent ways how you can define and initialize the value for string. Now there are a couple of points we need to pay attention over here, which they usually ask in interview. When we create a string using literal, it is added to the string pool. Okay, string, when we create a string, usually it's get added to the string pool. Now what do we mean by the string pool concept? So string pool is nothing but a memory location, you can say. Okay, it's a memory location where in a layman term you can just think it like I have a box, right? And that box name, storage box name is basically string pool. So whenever I create a string using literals, Java store that in that box. Okay, so string pool is nothing but a box inside the memory, right? Where when you create a Java, when you create a string using literals, Java will take that one and put it inside the string pool box, right? But when the new string literal is created, what Java will do, it will go and check the pool. If there is already exist, for example, I write string str is equal to testing, then I write string str is equal to automation, then what basically behind the scene Java will do, it will go and first check, is there anything called as str stored in my string pool? If yes, right, then what it will do, its reference will be returned. If it is exists, then its reference will be returned. Otherwise, the string is added to the pool. This mechanism optimizes memory usage by avoiding duplicate string. So there will be no duplicate string. Just to give you an example, right? If I write like this, right? Yeah, I can still change the value over here. Str testing. Yeah. So what basically this is saying about that, if the string already exists, its reference will be returned, right? If it is not exist, then only it will go and add to the pool. That means duplication will not be entered over here, right? In the case of string literals, right? If you notice over here, right? Here the refer string 1 and string 2 reference to the same object. Why? Because they have the same value. String 1 is also hello world, string 2 is also hello world, right? So now how we can check that this reference are true or not? That one we can do using equal to operator. Okay, that one I will show you with an example right now. Let assume what I will do, as I was trying to do it before, string 1 is equal to, I will do testing. Okay, now both of my values is pretty much same, correct? Now if I will go and use this double equal to operator right over here, then it should give me true. Okay, why? Because the reference for both the object is going to remain same. So let me try to do that. So if you don't have idea about how this equal to operator basically works, let me give you a little bit conceptual knowledge about it. So there are two different way when we compare strings. One is equal to, one is dot equals. This equal to is nothing but the reference in the memory location. right? And the same reference we talk about when we talk about the string pool, right? If the string already exists, it reference is returned, right? So whenever you want to check the reference, which operator we are going to use? We are going to use equal to equal to. When you need to compare the content inside the string, means this hello exactly, then which operator which one you are going to use? Equals. So this one is specifically made for reference. And string pool, what it is saying, if the value is already present, it will return the reference for it. That means, let me take you to the example again. Here, if I write string str equal to str1, so the return type of equal to operator is true or false. So if it is same, it will return true. If it is not same, it will return false. So we will do twice. We will do one with system string is equal to string one. Another one we will do str dot equals string one, so that we will be able to check that how the both operator is also working together, right? So str dot equals, and inside that I'm going to pass str1. Because see, if we notice properly, this one should give us true, right? Why? Because the value is same, so the reference is same as per the string literal concept of string pool. And here it should return false, because no, here also it will return. Let's see. I will not tell right now. Let's see. Okay. So for example, if you notice over here, string1 equal to true, and here also it will definitely return true. Why? Because the value of both the strings are same. Testing. So now if I will change this, okay, if I will change this to test, right, and then re-execute it, then obviously the this one is will also change, this one will also change, because the reference will also change, because the value is different, it is not equal, so it will create a new one, right, as per this literal concept. But this one will change when we go over here. So let's understand how the string new object basically behaves, correct? So the first one we understood, like when you create a string letter, it is added to the string pool. If another string letter with the same value is encountered, it will reference the same object from the pool. That one we have written. That's why equal to gives us true. This method is memory efficient because it reuses instances of identical string. Now what happens in class constructor means the new operator or the new object one. Using string creates a new string object every time, even if the value is the same as another string. This method does not check the string pool and directly allocates new memory for the string object. What do we mean by that? Let me explain you over here. So what we will do now, we will try to repeat the same thing, okay? String object 1, okay? And we will try to keep both the things same, and let's see how it behaves, okay? So here what we are going to do, we are going to print it the same way, strobj, and here we will write strobj1, here strobj, here strobj1. So now you will see what it will return, okay? Because why? Because here it doesn't check that if it is same or not same. That means it will not return the reference. So we are expecting that this one should give us false. Line number 14 should give us false because it does not check in the string pool. So now let's run it and check. Can you see? False, true. This one will definitely true because the value is same, testing with obj, but this one is false. This is one of the prominent difference between your string literals and string object. That's why performance wise, efficiency wise, string literals is better because it is consuming less memory. This one is consuming more memory because if it is duplicate also, it will go and create a new one without checking the string pool. So if you notice over here, using new string creates a new string object every time, even if the value in the same as another string. This method does not check the string pool. It is less memory efficient. So those are the two ways how you can define string, and those are the two ways how you can compare string equal to and dot equals, right? Now let's move on to one more important concept which is being asked in interviews very frequently, that is string immutability. So strings in Java are immutable. That means once a string object is created, its value cannot be changed, right? So there are the major benefits around it is like thread safety, security, performance optimization. Those are theoretical a little bit, right? Thread safety, caching, hash code caching. Those are the different terminology. We don't have to deep dive into that as of now. But how basically this string immutability happens, right? So let assume um, I am trying to create a string object like this. Okay, string something like this. Okay, let me put it over here. This one usually gives us false, so I will update it over here. So string original string is equal to hello, and this one is original string that it is going to return. Now let's try to modify the string. Okay, this is the first one. We are just defining the string. This is using literal. Then we are trying to modify string. How? By concat. That means concat is a method which helps us to add value, right? So after the hello, I want to add world, right? And we will try to print the modified string. Let's see what it is giving us. Okay, let me run it, execute. So now if you notice, as of now our original string is hello. That's fair enough. Our this one is modified string is also hello dot concat world, hello world we are getting, right? Now we will do an important thing over here. Hmm. Now I will run it over here. So if you notice over here, our original string, right? Our original string is hello, right? What we have done, we have here we are creating a new literal, right? Here we are creating a new literal and trying to save original string dot concat world, and then we are printing it is giving us hello world. Now I will show you one interesting thing over here. Okay, I have just done original string dot concat world, right? Instead of taking help of an additional literal, what I am doing, I am just using original string dot concat world, and I am checking that what is the value of my original string. So if you have noticed, it has not added world to it. It's supposed to add, right? Original string dot concat world. It should. So after that, when I print original string, it should give me hello world, but it will not give. It is still giving me hello, because string is immutable. That means once you define the value, it will not change. If you want to change, then what you need to do, you need to take help of another, you need to kind of create another string altogether, right? Because here we are kind of defining a completely another string, save it, then only print it. If you don't do it, if you directly write original string dot concat, then it is not going to work, right? So this is how, so there is a strong reason behind it why we do it, because it helps us in security, thread safety, caching, and hash code caching. This one is not that much required to understand as of now. We can take it further, but yes, if somebody asks you in interview, prove me that string is immutable, you should give this example. First do it using modified string and print it, it will work. Then remove it and show it that, see, now my expectation is like original string dot concat world should give me hello world, but it will not give you, right? But does that mean we cannot anytime perform any kind of concatenation like this? Yes, you can do. That's why they have given two more types that are called as string buffer and string builder. String buffer and string builder helps us to make the string mutable. So string is immutable, but string buffer and string builder mutable. That means if I do string buffer and string builder, if I use string buffer, string builder and directly do like this, it should be able to work. Now, but there is a major difference over here. Okay, I will show you first with string buffer, then with string builder. Logically, both the things pretty much work in the same way. Okay, but one of the major difference we have between string buffer and string builder is string buffer is thread safe, so it is synchronized, but it is slower. Whenever something is synchronized or thread safe, it will go little slow. But string builder is not thread safe, best for single threaded environments. So most probably in automation, we use string builder more than string buffer. Now how this thread safety and multi-threading works, that one I will explain you little late when we jump into the multi-threading part of Java. As of now, we need to keep a note that string buffer is thread safe or synchronized. String builder is not thread safe. Okay. In automation, we usually use single threaded environments. That's why in automation, string builder is the one which is being most used. Now let me show you an example exactly how this string buffer and string builder works. So let assume I want to do that append one, right? That we tried to do before. Let's try to do it again. So string buffer SB, new string buffer hello. This is how you can create a string buffer. And I want to append world, right? Let me try to print system.out.println with SB, and you will notice that it will be able to add hello world because this is a mutable one. It is not immutable. So now let's see hello world. Why? Because string buffer is mutable. The same thing you will notice in builder. So usage wise, you will not find any difference. And in automation, we use string builder more. Okay, as for the obvious reason, right? Because it is more faster and we don't need that much thread safety in our automation. Okay, right? That's why we are okay with going with string builder. Let me show you how it will work. Just to give you an example, let's run it. Hello world, hello world. That means whenever you want to make the string mutable, what are the two ways you have? String buffer, string builder. Are those two things same? 90% both are same. 10% difference is string buffer is thread safe, string builder is not thread safe. So now for interview perspective, what are the points you should focus? Use string when you have a fixed content. Use string buffer when you need a mutable string and thread safety. Use string builder when you need a mutable string but do not require thread safety. Simple. In interview, they may ask you a lot of cross questions around it, but overall, this is the important things they focus, right? Now, the next section that we jump into is like, that is another crucial part, like what are the important string methods that you should be aware of before starting work in your project. Okay. So there are some methods which are pretty important. Okay, for example, dot replace, right? Length, how to get the length, character at equals ignore case. Some of them I have given over here. Okay, dot replace, substring. Those are the some of the important string methods that we will go through. Okay, let's start with the first method of string, that is character at. One method we have already seen, that is concat, right? Now we will go to the another method, that is character at. So what this basically does, this helps us to fetch the value from the string at particular position. Now what do we mean by that? Let assume I have a string, right? Where is our string defined? Our string is defined over here, that is testing, correct? Our str is testing. So now what I will do, I will bring it over here, str method, okay? Control C, Control V. So now let's execute it and see. Let me try to comment all those one. You can directly select everything, command slash, it will comment that part. And then what we can do, we can run it from here and see what it is printing. So it is printing S. Why? Because the character at 2, what this character at will do, it will fetch the value at 2, 0, 1, 2. So the value at 2 is S. So if I want to print the first one, what I will do, I will simply do T. So whenever you are putting a logic where you need to fetch data from a particular position in a string, which method you are going to use? Character at, right? That's why it comes very handy. Okay, whenever you kind of doing fetching value, it comes very handy. Another thing in testing, this one is superbly important, equals ignore case. Why this one is important? because many time it happens like we fetch some contact or text from the website and then we need to compare, but we are not sure what's the pattern of this uppercase or lowercase. Whenever you need to make a comparison, for example, you are not bothered about abc uppercase or lowercase, you just want to know that the value should be abc. Then what you can do, you can use this method called as equals ignore case. So what it will do, whenever it will do a comparison, it will basically ignore the uppercase or lowercase from here, right? And then it will compare it. For example, let me run this one. You will see true, because it is using equals ignore case, right? So now if I use only equals dot equals, right, it will return me false. Can you see? So many time our test case fails due to this reason, right? Because instead of equals ignore case, we end up using equals and our test case get fails. I'm writing both the method over here so that whenever you practice, it would be easy for you to compare. That's why in basically in automation we use equals ignore case a lot. In interview they may not ask you, but in your day-to-day task it is superbly important. Okay, superbly important. There is one famous interview question where they ask that in this ABC, right, replace C with A, right? Replace C with A. Then what you can do, you can simply use dot replace method. This is another method of string which is superbly important. Dot replace, what you want to replace, that you need to write. You need to replace basically C with A. Okay. So basically what this replace does, it replace takes two input. Okay, character sequence of two input. So if you notice over here, right, replace, it basically takes two input and it will try to replace the value this one with this one, right? Okay, so let me just close one more close brackets I need to provide. Control S, let me run it. And we should be able to see ABA. So this one is very handy when you go for coding rounds. They will give you some problem when you need to use these methods. So if you don't know these methods, what problem will happen? You will not be aware of like what exactly I need to, which method I need to use, right? So now there is one more important thing that is called as two lowercase, two uppercase. That means whenever you want to convert uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase, those are pretty common, right? Not so important, pretty common. For example, so that's why equal ignore case is there, so we don't use it much. But sometime if you want to convert them from uppercase to lowercase, lowercase to uppercase, then usually you can use these two methods. Not so important, but yes, good to know. Correct. Now there is one more thing, right? That is called as trim. Trim is superbly important because in testing sometime what happens when we fetch some text value, right, it will come like this abcd, there is a space before and after, and when we use equals it basically fails. For example, let me first show you why it is handy. Okay, if I now use dot equals, okay, and if I use inside it abcd, okay, you will see what it will do. Then you will realize why we need trim. Okay, so it gives us false because there is a space over here. So what you can do, you can use trim over here, then you can use equals, you can use both together. Okay, that's fine. Okay, now first trim, then you see true. That is the real use of trim, correct, with equals, right? Basically trim removes the, always remember, remove space from the start and the last, not in between. So if there is a space in between, it is not going to change it. People get confused sometime. Okay, it is not going to change it. So now the last one, which is the superbly important one, that is substring. It is superbly important in coding problems. Okay, substring helps to manipulate string. If you want to fetch value from a particular range, it is the most easiest one to get. Okay, let me give you a over here. Okay, I have written apple. Okay, and what I have done, I have asked my substring that start the index from 3. You will see what it will do. So if you see le, So why it starts from 3? That means it starts from here, correct? L and E. If I write starts from 0, right? Starts from 0 index. That means starting. Then what it will print? It will print apple. Always remember this starts with 0. Okay, never get confused. Everything character at starts from 0. Index starts from 0. So now if I want to print just the last one, right? Then what you can do? You can get the length and put the last one over here, right? Just I'm giving you a trick on this. Substring cannot only be used this way. Substring can be used in multiple way. Let assume you want to print only ppl. That means between 0 and 0 1 2 3 4. Then also you can write it, so you can give a range. See, in problems what they used to give problems which can be manipulated in different ways, right? That's why knowing this will help you a lot how you can work around the solution. See, APPL, sorry. I have started from 0 now. I should start from 1, right? Yeah. So now see, PPL. PPL. Start from 1 and set 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you write 4, it basically not print the fourth one. Okay, that's one thing. Okay. So it starts from 1, that is PPL. So fourth is the last one, E. That's why it will skip that. Now there is an interesting thing you will see. Now let me run it. Now you have to write 5 when you will go for apple, right? Towards the length. Why? Because this substring will basically takes the begin index and end index. So here there is a little bit trick. It starts from 0, goes to integer dot max dot value. That means starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Until this it is 5. So if you want to print entire, then you can give like this. So substring can be used with a single index where you can say that okay, starts from here, or it can also use in a range. Range is the one which we use more during manipulation tasks. Okay, single one we barely use, but range one is mostly used. See this one, substring int begin index, substring int begin index and end index, right? A similar problem example also I have given given over here, right? That how you can basically get this one. So there is one more important thing. Okay, that one also quite important. Let assume you want to fetch you don't know about the index. Now here we are aware of index, right? Because we have seen the string. Possibility is there when you are not even aware of the index. Then what you can do, there is a method called as index of. Okay, that one you can use to get the index value. Okay, index of which one? Index of E. It will return the first one. Okay, E. So now let's see what it will return. So index of E is equal to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. What is the index of A? Let's see. Index of A is 0. Interesting thing when it comes to P, because P is double. So it will return 1. See, the first instance. Always remember, okay? It always returns the first instance. Okay. Now there is one more way also to do. Let assume you want to get the index of the second P, but you know that second P starts after 1, right? So you can give it like P start index would be 1, right? Let me run it and then I will explain. Now if I will go for 2, starts from 2, it will give me 2. So now what happens? My first one is 1, right? But I want to pick the index of second P. And second P basically starts from 0, 1, 2. So when you write from index 2, it will automatically pick the second one. But the question is how I will know that what would be the first one and second one, right? So what you can basically do, you can create a variable, right? maybe something like int index is equal to, right, apple dot index of a. Okay, I'm just showing you how build logic happens. So now this will return me index of first p. This will return me index of first p. So for example, it will return me 1, right? So now what we can do here, from index we are not aware of, we will do index plus 1. Then automatically it will pick from the second one, right? Just let's just execute and see. See, it returns 2. So now let assume the apple p is over here also. There is no problem. It will give us 3. Because anyway, it is keeping the, how come 0, 1? Have I done? Okay, sorry. Here also we need to change, right? Control V. And here also we will change and see 3. Can you see 3? Why? Because the pi have moved over here. So whenever you are not sure that, okay, I cannot see the string, I don't know about the index, so you can first fetch the index. It will return the first one, right, when you give the any alphabet. Then you add +1 to it so that it will start adding from the next value. This is one of the way, right? One of the way we can use these methods. Those methods are superbly important when you go for any problem solving or coding rounds in interviews. Makes sense, right? Hope you have liked the video, and stay tuned because in our next video we are going to talk about string related problems, reverse string, and everything that are being frequently asked. And if you are looking for that where exactly I am getting this document, this is part of my interview Q&A package which covered all type of interview Q&A, right? You can get it from a link that I will post it in the comment section, right? See, Java interview Q&A package, right? So you can get it over there. Or if you want to watch more around it, right, different type of problems, then do let me know in the comment section that which specific problem you want me to solve using Java string along with time and space complexity, right? And stay tuned, folks. Okay, and do provide your suggestion. If you have any suggestions, input, do provide it. Okay, take care. Bye bye.